we talked. You mentioned we're going to get into it. You said it. Was that the greatest? And last night we're talking about, of course, UFC Freedom 250 last night, the UFC event on the back lawn of the White House, the south lawn of the White House. And I thought it was just an incredible event. And by the way, somebody noted earlier on the text line, I got to get it up in front of me. I didn't even realize this. First time in the UFC where the entire main card missed the judges. Oh, but it's a question mark. They're asking the question, so maybe that's not the case. But yeah, nobody went the distance last night. There were no judges involved or required for any of the decisions last night at the White House for UFC Freedom 250. But you mentioned quickly, Sam, the flyover. Is that the greatest flyover ever?
It's got to be the only one.
It was incredible. And it went over the White House. It wasn't just in the middle of America somewhere.
It was sick. I would have loved the, I don't know what they do it for, but sometimes, like the trail, somehow they change the trail smoke sometimes to different colors. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
Sure.
If you could have given me, that's my only pick. I did once get to see in Kansas City a pair of B-2 bombers in a flyover.
That's cool.
Holy.
You know, for a long time, Raymond James Stadium was the only professional sports stadium that had a flyover at every game.
I did not know that.
That used to be a fact. It is no longer a fact. They don't do it every single game anymore. But for a long time, it was the only one every week because McDill's right there. So every week they used to have flyovers. And then eventually, I think it was during COVID that they were like, maybe not every week anymore, but still, it was very, very cool. But I thought the flyover last night was awesome. I thought, and I'm not Aaron Jacobson. I'm not out on a Friday or Saturday night somewhere watching some jam band pretend to be the Grateful Dead. I'm not exactly live music guy. When I go out for dinner somewhere, or, I like La Teresita a lot. Sometimes they'll have somebody in there singing. I love it when they take a break. I don't love live music, especially when I'm just relaxing or eating somewhere. I don't need it. I don't go out for live music a lot. I'll go to a concert for a band that I love or whatever, but for the most part, I'm not a big live music guy. But I thought the live music renditions of everybody's entrance music was really cool. The young lady who sang a lot of them was fantastic. I feel like shoot her to the moon. She's a superstar. You just take her right out of the military now and you make her a superstar.
When she
was awesome. She was awesome.
O'Malley's walkout. Oh gosh, what's the name of it? When you are
Superstar.
Yeah, Superstar. Awesome.
I'm trying to remember who that is.
Chills down the back of the spine there on that one. That was awesome.
That's a great song too. I'm drawing a blank on the artist.
Gets me fired up.
But it is a great song. But I thought everything about. And if you listen to the show enough, you know I'm not necessarily a huge pomp and circumstance kind of guy. But I thought all of the pomp and circumstance last night was just incredible. By the way, if you're just tuning in and you haven't heard yet, Ryan Pepio is going to fill in for Aaron Jacobson for the final 2 hours of the show. He just texted me and said I should be pulling up in 10 minutes. Fired up. So he's fired up, and I hope he's fired up because we get a lot for Ryan Pepio today. Again, we're going to talk to him about the whole West Coast trip and what does that really do to guys. I know what it does to the rest of us schmucks, but we're not going to play professional sports.
Lupe Fiasco, by the way, Pat.
Lupe Fiasco. The very underrated Lupe
when
Fiasco.
You are what you say you are.
A lot of overrated out there today. Drake, I keep having kids tell me that Drake is the greatest of all time.
The GOAT.
You don't believe that, though, right?
Iceman.
You don't believe that, though, right?
Oh, Drake's my GOAT.
Jesus, dude. This is what I'm talking about with you children.
I do love me some DMX, though.
Okay, yeah, come on, man. The real hip-hop heads out there are disappointed in you right now. Here's my problem. You'll say Drake is the GOAT, right? Do you know who Black Thought is?
Never heard of it.
Black Thought is the lyricist for The Roots. Still not ringing a bell. Do you know who Jimmy Kimmel is? No, I'm sorry. No, it's not Kimmel. It's the other one. Who's the other Jimmy?
Fallon?
Jimmy Fallon. Do you know who he is?
I know the band The Roots, but I wouldn't have known the lead singer or rapper, lyricist, whatever you want to call him by name.
He is a genius.
I like their drummer though.
Dude, I saw the Roots live, and it was mostly a hip hop show, and all of a sudden, like they took a break, but the bass player came out and started like jun 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 jun, like some like death metal riffs, and so many of the people around me were like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Yeah, like this is all." But dude, the Roots play their own music, but like seriously, like go listen to the Roots a little bit, and listen to some of the things that Black Thought says in the music, and tell me that Drake is the great. Somebody else texting, and Drake is the GOAT with Lil Wayne. Guys, you need to learn the greatness of real hip hop. There's so many lyricists that Drake couldn't stand in a room with an open microphone, and you children think he's the best.
They couldn't stand in a room with him.
Let me tell you something.
Iceman coming.
Let me tell you something. And this isn't even a joke. I've told Aaron this before. We've talked about it at training camp years ago. Zach Blobner and I and Aaron Jacobson, we were all sitting there, and Drake's stupid song, really big things, really big rings, blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, you know who can rap better than this? Me! I can freestyle as good as Drake. You know what? Me versus Drake, I've got a better chance against Drake than Drake has against Black Thought from The Roots, or than Drake does against a guy like Jada Kiss, who a lot of you children don't know either. I mean, it's shameful, very shameful. But last night was really fantastic. No decisions. Everybody was fighting hard. I bet on all the Americans, which didn't turn out necessarily to be a great idea. And then even when there were two Americans, I picked the wrong American. I took Derek Lewis, who of course is the greatest knockout artist in the history of the UFC, at least has the most knockouts in the history of the UFC.
He's the greatest on the mic too.
Well, I thought so. The dude against him is a lunatic. I didn't know a lot about that dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's kind of an up and coming. He's only been in
He's
the
10-0 now.
Yeah, he's probably been there maybe 3 years, maybe.
I don't know if he's like trying out for when he's done with the UFC, but he's like a WWE wrestler in there. Like his persona, the way, not the way he fights, because he wouldn't really be hitting anybody if it was the way but his persona is very WWE. I mean, he came out to the I'm a Real American, Hulk Hogan song, for crying out loud. But his whole attitude, very, very different. I kind of like it. I just didn't want him to beat Derek Lewis last night, because Derek Lewis is one of those guys I'll probably bet on forever. And even though like he's clearly like he was done last night, he had no energy last night. That was almost an embarrassing performance for Derek Lewis. Like I kind of want him, as much as I love him and love seeing him fight, I kind of want him to hang it up after last night, because that was not good. That was not good.